Hello, I am Misty Winkler from Simplified Organization, and I know it's late. This is a Pacific Coast time scope, not for the East Coast. You guys can watch later. Um, so I'm glad you could join me, and today we are going to talk about organization and kind of how we think about organization. What do we think that organization is going to do for us? Why do we even go after it? I'm not going to tell you not to go after it. Hello! Because, I write on a blog called Simplified Organization. So I'm not telling you that organization is all for naught, right? But how we approach it matters. So I'm glad you could all join me. There are a lot more people than I thought would be on at this time. So, oops, let me get this all straightened out there. So often we go after organization. And why do we do it? Because our motivation and why we're doing what we're doing matters tremendously. It matters because our heart matters more than appearances, more than the physical reality, more than how our house actually looks. Our heart matters first. So that means our motives are why we're doing it. And so often our motives for going after organization are wrong-headed. They're just kind of messed up or not clear. And that's one reason why we get so frustrated when we go after organization. Oh, yay! I hope you're enjoying it. The first module is really all about this getting your head around the why and the motivation and why we feel so frustrated with organization. And I think we don't realize it, but when we get really frustrated about either having to do it or why do we have to, why should I care about this, or the frustration of trying and feeling like it's not working. A lot of times the frustration is coming because our motive is not quite right, not where it needs to be. Our attitude isn't where it needs to be. That's why I say organize your attitude, because that mindset going into it is really going to make or break the effort. And so often we go into organization thinking this is going to solve my problems. Like I feel so uptight, or I feel so out of control. I feel all messed up. So I'm going to try organization, and that's going to make me feel better, or that's going to make me feel in control. I think a lot of times we go after, I know I did for a long time, try to get organized because what I want is control of the situation. But we don't have control. God is in control, not us. And he doesn't let us be in control. And that's good for us to not be in control, because we would mess it up if we were in control. And so when we use organization as a tool to try to grab control, we're going to end up more angry and more frustrated because we're trying to grab something that's not ours in the first place. And it's not going to work because God's not going to let us be in control. And the sooner we get over that, the better we're going to feel, the better we're going to learn to love our duties and what God has put in front of us, and accept that whatever messes are made that day or whatever interruptions to our plan, that's what God has for us this day, and that's okay. And we can accept that and just do what we're supposed to be doing, do our duty, love our duty, because that's what God has sent us, rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to get organized so that I can control those outcomes, or I can control more of what happens in my day. God's not going to let us get away with that, because that's not good for us. So the sooner we can let go of that desire for control and say, okay, being organized is about being prepared, being ready to fulfill those duties that are put in front of us. And sometimes the duty is as simple as changing that diaper at an inconvenient time, or cleaning up the yogurt that just spilled out of the fridge, or whatever it is that's happening, interrupting and helping two siblings make peace, even though you had, dinner to make, or all these different things that we have in a day to do that aren't necessarily what we would put in our plan. yeah, they're interruptions. Those are our real life. That's a great C.S. Lewis quote. And I'm not going to be able to remember it off the top of my head, but something like, we keep waiting for our real life to happen, this life that we have in our heads that we want to realize. And I think a lot of times that's what organization is for us, this picture of how we want life to be. And if I get organized, maybe I can make that vision happen. But God has this life for us. He has it laid out. He has prepared a path for us to walk in, a path of good works, and our job is to walk that path of obedience and doing what we're supposed to be doing. And the C.S. Lewis quote, those interruptions, we keep thinking that our real life will happen if these interruptions will stop. But those interruptions are our real life. Like, this is what we're living, and those interruptions are given to us as opportunities to exercise patience or to love our children or do whatever it is that we're supposed to be doing in that moment. So being organized is not about seeking control and grabbing control and being in charge, but about being ready and willing and able to do those good works that God puts in front of us. Not necessarily the ones we would choose for ourselves, but those ones that are right in front of us, ready to do, no matter how insignificant they look or feel, or whether or not they would be what we would want to be doing. Those are the things that we need to be doing. So as you try organizing your house or your life, remember to start with your attitude, because organizing your attitude means addressing the responses and the motivations, the heart issues of why we're doing what we're doing. And when our responses are right and we're willing to do what's in front of us and do what we're being called to do right now, not necessarily what we would like that calling to be, but what our calling really is right in front of us, the better able we are going to manage and have a sense of satisfaction and happiness and fulfillment. It's not going to come from being in control. It's going to come from accepting what's right in front of us to do. So I hope that encourages you and sends you off into your day ready to take on and learn to love what must be done. Thank you.